Ghost Rider issue number 3 from Marvel Comics. Alright, so this series has been amazing so far. This series is basically the writer embracing the horror aspects of Ghost Rider and putting it to the forefront. For anyone who hasn't been keeping up with Ghost Rider, I mean, you can go watch my previous videos on this series. But basically, Johnny Blaze is in this idyllic life. It's like this great town. Roxanne and his kids are there. But things aren't as perfect as they could be. Johnny has recently had like a car accident, so he has like a scar on his head, which sometimes we see like an eyeball popping out of it, but no one seems to realize that, just us, the audience. And Johnny sees demons. There shouldn't be demons. Like, for example, he sees a dog, and then briefly the dog appears to be a demon, but then it's back to being a dog again. So he's having these weird visions. And then eventually this man shows up and starts killing everybody, and then reveals to Johnny that this is all fake. This isn't real. The demons that you see are what you're actually seeing. Like, that's not a dog, it's actually a demon. Your wife is not really Roxanne. Roxanne is in heaven. What you're married to is a demon. Your kids aren't real, they're demons. Everything here is a demon. So Johnny eventually releases the Ghost Rider and slaughters everybody. And he discovers that someone has been kind of keeping him here, locked down in this fake life. And while that's been happening, a lot of evils has been going on. Evils that Ghost Rider could have stopped, but he wasn't because he was trapped in this fake world. And then the last issue, Johnny comes across a motel where he starts working at the motel for a little while because he doesn't have any money to pay for anything. And turns out that the motel guy was using his customers as sacrifices to this demon that lived in this cave nearby. And Johnny unleashes the Ghost Rider and kills the demon and stuff. And there's also this special supernatural branch of the FBI that are trying to track Johnny down. It's kind of hinted at that they believe that Johnny is the cause for all this chaos and destruction. And so, yeah, basically, Johnny and the Ghost Rider are not working together. And unlike in previous iterations of Ghost Rider, whenever Johnny becomes the Ghost Rider, he blacks out. He has no idea what happens. It's not like the Ghost Rider takes control of his body and Johnny's just a passenger watching everything. Johnny's completely gone. Johnny even mentions that like he has blackouts, and when he wakes up, sometimes there'll be pine needles in his hair, the taste of ash in his mouth, sometimes there'll be blood on his hands. Like, he has no idea what the hell is going on, but it's never anything good. And so we have him trying to hitchhike on this area in Oregon called the Red Road. And it's called that because, it mentions that it's literally called the Red Road because a bunch of truckers have killed so many deers that the road's painted red. But also, it's just a place where a lot of disturbing things happen. People go missing. Trucks go through and never arrive at their destination. There's so many trees that you need to use your fog lights during the daytime, like, because you can't even see. Like, just a lot of weird, creepy things happen here. And Johnny's still seeing demons where they shouldn't be. Like, he sees a little kid making a face at him, and in his mind he sees a demon. Which, okay, I can kind of see that because little kids can be demons sometimes. But yeah, as he's hitchhiking, we cut to a unknown cemetery where we have the Council of Night Magicians. And it's kind of cool. Like, we see one where we see like a bunch of worms coming out of the ground, and then they form this humanoid creature. We have one where it's like this wolf and it transforms into a woman. We have this Grim Reaper looking ghost. We have a dude in a white suit named Alabaster. And we have Zebediah, who is basically a bunch of crows that form together into a human. And Zebediah is the one that freed Johnny. He's the one that went to the town that Johnny was in and slaughtered everyone who, it turns out, were demons. So we don't really know if Zebediah is evil or not. He wants to help Johnny, it seems. Like, he says, Johnny barely knows what's going on. I think we should help him. And Alabaster is like, no, I don't think so. Like, we've interfered enough. But Zebediah kind of goes against his wishes. And we have a moment where Johnny gets picked up by this weird dude who's kind of, for one, he carries around an egg. And it just reminds me of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia with Frank. He's like, can I trouble you with an egg in these trying times? But yeah, he basically talks about the balance between to life, the balance between good and bad. And that we all have to have the bad. The bad is inevitable, but the only way to avoid the bad from happening is if you make it happen to someone else. So we see that this guy has like a bunch of dead bodies in his trunk, and then he tries to shoot Johnny. Johnny smashes his face into a wheel as they're coming across this truck with all these dead sheep and a dead truck driver and a smashed up van. And this red truck comes blaring down and hits the guy that was giving Johnny a ride and knocks him off. And we see all these dead bodies flying out of his trunk. And then, the red truck tries to go after Johnny. And we have this moment that's just so cool. It's Johnny's like slowly stalking it as his body lights on fire. The truck tries to run over the driver in the van. Johnny pushes them out of the way, and then Johnny transforms. And unlike before, where Johnny's face just turns into a skull, here we see the spirit of vengeance literally rip itself out of Johnny Blaze. It basically, Johnny grabs like his chest and just rips his body open, and the spirit of vengeance, the Ghost Rider, just comes out of his body. It's so weird and gory and awesome. Like, I love the body horror in this. It's no longer just Johnny's head goes on fire and then he's this skeleton. Now it's his body will literally melt off his face in the last issue. In this issue, he's literally, like, the Ghost Rider's literally ripping himself out of his body. Yeah, there's a bit more, but I'm not going to spoil it. All I'm going to say is I freaking love this. I would say this is my favorite ongoing series at the moment. It's just so freaking fantastic. I've always liked the Ghost Rider and stuff. I'm currently reading the volume 2, the first volume with Johnny, and it's kind of cheesy. I mean, it came out in the 70s. I'm just kind of going through it. But even then, there are moments where it's like, it could be, like, you see them borrowing some horror elements, but then, of course, they kind of cheesy it up. And I've read, like, other stuff from Ghost Rider. And while they all have horror elements, they're always either, like, action horror or even, like, a dark comedy, in a sense, where, like, the horror is not necessarily horror. It's just more horror in the sense that it's using demons and supernatural creatures and gore and stuff, but that's kind of it. There's nothing really scary or creepy or eerie. Whereas here, they kind of just embrace the horror. The horror is the forefront of this. You got the body horror with Johnny, and like we have something coming out of his head. Like we see an eyeball, we see a mouth. I'm assuming this is supposed to be a metaphor for like the spirit of vengeance living inside of him, and that's what it is. But it could be something else. We don't know. But we have that body horror. We have the body horror of when he transforms into the Ghost Rider. In the last issue, like I said, his muscles, like his skin and muscles, literally melt off of his face until he's nothing but the skeleton. In this issue, he literally rips himself open, and the spirit of vengeance comes out of him like a xenomorph. And then we just have more of the horror elements. Like there's some action, but it's like everything is eerie. Everything is just like psychological horror. What the hell is going on? Why is Johnny seeing these demons? Is something haunting him? Is something chasing him? Who are these creatures? Who was in charge of trying to lock Johnny Blaze down in this fake town? What do they want with him? What's going on with his head? What are these council of night magicians? Like, what do they want with Johnny? What about the FBI? Like, what's going on? Why are they hiring like this woman to try to hunt him down? Like, there's all these questions, and it's awesome. It's great. I freaking love it. So, yeah, highly recommend checking out Ghost Rider. It's been amazing so far. So if you like horror, if you like body horror, if you like psychological horror, if you like unnerving horror, like if you're more a fan of Silent Hill than Resident Evil, for example, check this out. I would say that's the best example I can use. I would say previous Ghost Riders seem to be more like Resident Evil. There's horror, but it's not really scary. It's just more like of an action. The horror is just kind of there as the creatures, but it's, again, not necessarily all that scary. Whereas this is more like Silent Hill, where the horror is its big selling point. There is some action, but the action isn't the selling point. The horror aspect, the psychological horror, the all that, like that's the focus. That's the focus here. The focus here is just the horror, the psychological aspect of it, and it's great. I love it. So yeah, there you go. Ghost Rider issue number 3 from Marvel Comics. Go check it out. It is fantastic. Like I said, it's my favorite thing out at the moment. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Hope to see you next time. Later. So what'd you guys think of that video? I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys haven't already, please subscribe, hit that bell for a notification, leave a like if you enjoyed the video. And if you didn't enjoy the video, thank you for watching it this far, and I hope the next video is more to your liking. Feel free to check out the playlist that you guys see, and I hope to see you guys next time. Later.